Hello. I was a few minutes late. I am so sorry. I am here. Hello. Oh, I need like a little alarm. Sometimes I get like sidetracked with something. I got typing. Oops. I got typing. I was excitedly typing in my journal. I apologize. I'm a few minutes late. Okay. Let's see here. My name is Red Moon Eagle. This is Daily Devotion. It is Wednesday, December 6th, 2023. We are getting so close to the solstice. Aren't you excited? I'm absolutely tickled. We are in tide of preparation, the fall equinox to the winter solstice. I'd love it if you hit the subscribe icon and the little bell icon and let me know what you're doing and what you're thinking and how this is helping you. Again, I apologize. I was running a little bit late, so I'm gathering my thoughts now. I don't know if you have that similarly. Sometimes you get into a thing and then you remember you have to go do another thing, and then all of a sudden your brain doesn't want to work right. Like, that's where I'm at right now. Okay, so we didn't have any questions from yesterday. So I do encourage you, as you're watching Daily Devotional, write things in comments, or if you're watching this later, or you have thoughts later, or ideas or suggestions, please come back, circle back, write in the community page, write in the comments page at the bottom of the Daily Devotional. I do welcome the interaction. I can answer questions, things like that. Okay, I am going to start with the Animal Spirit Guidebook, because the animal we had today was spider. I was very excited when I saw this one. Spider. Creator of prosperity through life's work, Dharma. The spider is an ingenious creator. Its greatest gift is weaving the thread of Dharma into a vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it, both financially and spiritually. It is hard work, but the spider neither tires nor becomes impatient. This card reminds us creativity is everywhere. Be process-oriented rather than results-oriented, and soon your work becomes like the weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry. Astra, I'm over here. Abundance follows. Yes, you know where I'm at. I feel like I have full conversations with her sometimes. When in balance, appreciation, enthusiastic, prosperous. When out of balance, discouraged, tired, forlorn. To bring into balance, playful creativity. I love this. This card reminds us that creativity is everywhere. Be process-oriented rather than results-oriented. Soon your work becomes like the weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry. Abundance follows. I love that. Excuse the train. Okay. And this card today is a Kuan Yin card. Her joy renders the impossible task possible. I think I stuck that in the wrong page. I have created, I love this one, where it looks like she's floating along the earth, and the yak is almost floating. It's like they're playing a game of getaway or tag you're it. I love that. I have created a big, bold dream in your heart just for you. It will help you fulfill your divine destiny. To manifest this dream, you shall have to give up what you have been holding on to so you can instead open your arms to receive. In dropping your ideas of impossibility and stepping into the joy of the journey, your destiny will manifest, and all manner of miracles shall assist you on your way. You shall have such fun in the process of discovering what you are capable of when your heart is open and you believe in me unconditionally. When you leap, Do it with joy upon your lips, as you squeal with glee and know that even the trickiest tasks shall be made attainable through my grace. Pleasure is the key to successfully taking the next leap of faith in your life path. You are guided to allow joy to be your safety net, your attitude, your feeling by which you're guided and the basis of your decisions. Bliss, happiness, joy, these are high frequency, high states of being that cannot be contrived, and yet, despite what mainstream culture tends to think, they are not dependent on your life circumstances. That is a great and powerful teaching, and perhaps one of the most radically freeing teachings in the Divine Mother that she can bestow upon us. To learn to feel joy in our hearts without having to have a particular reason for it is the beginning of access to great spiritual power. To be able to tap into the frequency of joy, of simple delight in being alive and utter appreciation, reverence, and gratitude for the humor, diversity, and beauty, even the confounding, inexplicable mystery of creation, is remarkable. It is the way to cultivate divine power, the sort of power that allows you to fall completely in trust, land with perfect precision in the best of circumstances possible for you to fulfill your divine destiny. I love that. So these are really two good cards. So we've got the Spider, which is creator of prosperity, the creator, gift of weaving, financially and spiritually. Pay attention to creativity, process-oriented rather than results-oriented. So Spider, creativity. And then joy and creativity. I love this where it says, bliss, happiness, joy. These are high frequency, high states of being that cannot be contrived, and yet, despite what mainstream culture tends to think, are not dependent on your life circumstances. I think that's probably one of the biggest ones. So I love this. So these are our two cards today. And I am reminded often of years ago when I volunteered in a nursing home, and I worked with this group of ladies who we went into basically assisted living homes, nursing homes, assisted living homes, and we would read and sit and, just be companionable. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how a different generation perceived things. And I also learned how beautiful it is to embrace the joy. And those experiences really helped me during a time in my life where I could very easily have become somebody who was very bitter, very angry about everything. And when life kind of happened at me a couple times, I could very easily have just chosen to check out and not be present and not work through it and not find the bliss and the peace and the joy in my life. And these two cards remind me very much of that, of the time in my life where there were people around me who weren't pushy about it. I was there for them, and they taught me. They shared back with me this. Are you going to come up, Astra? Hey. They taught me very much about finding my inner peace, finding my bliss, finding my happiness, and being authentic in that so that I could share it if I needed to, so that I could use it to heal myself, so that I could find it without needing something from the outside to give me that joy. Now, because I'm energy sensitive and I do a lot of transmutation of energy, I do use techniques to get there. So I write, I embroider, I sew, I paint. I do many things that are very transmutation in nature to process through the emotions, process through energy, to get where I'm going, to find my bliss, to find happiness. But I can also take that peace, take that place of peace, take that bliss and happiness, and I can share it with other people. I can I have found a way to take that energy that I have transmuted, made into something else, take experiences and energy around me, and use that to share my joy with other people. And I wouldn't say that I'm an overly happy person. I wouldn't say that I'm happy all the time. I wouldn't say that I don't go through vacillations of emotional responses to things, because I do. I definitely do. But I will say that when I'm in a place of connection and groundedness and peace, I do have that sense that there is this bliss, this joy, this wellspring of connection that is available to me no matter how awful it seems. The other day I was really struggling with something, and I knew that as I was struggling with it, I should be able to find my way back. I should find my way back to this place of contentment and joy and happiness and maybe not bliss, but definitely joy. And I was able to get back there. I had to kind of walk the journey around the emotional whirlpool to get back to it, but I was able to find it again because I'm familiar with how that feels in my body. I'm familiar with how that feels in my mind and my spirit and how I connect in. And I want to touch on something in this sentence. Despite what mainstream culture tends to think, it's not dependent on your life circumstances. I've met quite a few people. I've had quite a few clients actually in the last year or two that they are deeply sitting in this place of fear. And this place of fear is really awful for them, as though what they do for a career or what they're meant to do or their purpose in life is wrapped up in their ability to be happy. And something that, and I can commiserate with that, I totally can, completely, I can go there. Because I have done that. I mean, if you go back and watch many of the daily devotions, you've seen me struggle from a job that I love, that things changed and I had to leave, to, COVID and trying to figure out, going out on my own with my business, and then something happening and I end up sidetracked with this whole other corporate thing, and then finally coming back to center and really doing the thing that I want to do. And you've seen me struggle through the daily devotional journey over the since 2017 I've struggled with finding that place of peace, I've struggled with the job thing is what I'm trying to say. But I have always maintained that underneath that job, what I do, what society tells me I need to do, is a sense of me-ness, right? Like always coming back to finding my place of peace, finding the joy in my moments, finding how to stay grounded and centered and on the path with intention. And it's very interesting. Like I have always argued that, yeah, it'd be great if you could do the things that you want to do, like that's great. And if you can, you can. If you can't, the job is not the beginning and end all. Our Western culture is set up with this weird paradigm that comes from post-World War I and World War II and the Industrial Revolution and so many influences that say you grow up, you go to school, you get a job, you work for 20, 30 years, you retire, and that's it. And you should have all the things you need. But that's not really how it works. In life, we go through this amazing journey of exploration, and it starts from moment one where that you as that small child being held in whosever arms you're being held at, you have this vast world to assimilate into, like figure out how to navigate, figure out how to work. And maybe assimilate's not the right word, but it makes it a lot harder if you don't have food and shelter and clothing when you're a small child, and if you don't have nurture, if you do not have safety, if you're inundated with trauma and lack of food and all these obstacles, it can make the feeling and the need to have things around you very prominent for a chunk of your life, especially as soon as you get something. But there's another side of it, and I think many indigenous cultures around the world talk about this, where finding that place of peace, finding that satisfaction with who you are as the spirit and enjoying the journey is where you bring joy with each other, you connect to each other with community. I went to a group meeting yesterday, and we were standing around at the end, and somebody said, "Oh, would you like me, we should bring food, and we should do this with food every time." And I was thinking to myself, I did not say it, but I was thinking, what a beautiful soul who has come to us from a whole nother part of the world and a whole nother part of another country altogether. And I happen to know that culturally, where this person is from, food, bringing even just a bowl of grapes, is part of the community connection piece, and she's trying to share it. And she doesn't even realize that that's what she's doing. Or maybe she does. She didn't say that. But I recognize that it's the togetherness in the community, and bringing some food helps her feel like she's connecting back into that, creating the relationships. And food has been a very powerful connector for eons for the human being. You know, you hunt and you eat together because it's communal food, or somebody goes hungry and we feed everybody equitably so that everybody can nurture and move forward. And it's for the good of the tribe, it's for the good of the community. So it's natural that we communicate around food. It's natural that we make connections in these certain ways as human beings, because this is the way it's been done for eons. And in Western culture, it's been morphed and manipulated a little bit. I look at the holidays as something that's just reinforced this trauma response in so many families, because they have trauma, they have abuse, they have all these things, and the holidays are heavily influenced in alcoholic beverages and going out and drinking alcohol to celebrate, and giving things. There's things that they're not handmade. It's just going out to the store and buying the thing that person wants and spending money for that. And everybody's like, well, if I go out and buy stuff, I revitalize the economy. But you're perpetuating the problem. So instead of buying 10 things, make something, right? Or maybe give a card that you've written a poem or a short story, or spend time with someone sharing a bowl of soup, right? Like reformulate what the idea of joy is and success through your connection to others, and through your finding the joy and the bliss in the moment from your place of peace. And I know I feel like I've probably scattered all these ideas all over the place, but there is a genuine sense that there are some people that they become addicted to buying a lot of things because it gives them this feeling of success, or this feeling of belonging, or they find joy in things. And things are transient, and we know that. But it's hard for us to understand exactly how fragile and how tenuous that connection to things is. I love to make things and give things. It's very rare. I was actually just talking to somebody the other day. It's very rare that I make something that's a piece of decoration that sits on the wall. I have a few things that I've made that I've kept, but generally speaking, when I make things, I give them away because I like them to be useful and bring other people joy, and it's part of the transmutation process. And it's also because I recognize the fragility of moment to moment, and using something to create something else creates this understanding of the fragility of the creativity and the connection we have to other people. So when you find joy and happiness from your place of peace, and you create connection with other people through that, it breaks down the barriers that you may not even have realized they were there. I think it's very much like a natural number 2 thing, ironically, where natural number 2 is about connection and meeting people exactly where they're at. And I think this card really talks about bringing this amazing acceptance and meeting people where they are through joy. So find your joy. I say that, and there's this guy who's on my Instagram, and I think it's Gregisms, and he's a kindergarten teacher in Florida, and he's absolutely hilarious. And he says, find your joy all the time. So I'm borrowing Gregisms' term, find your joy today. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Does anybody have any questions? I feel like I can wait a minute and see who has questions. Is there anything about today that you have a question about, or you want to ask a question? I didn't get any comments yesterday, so I didn't have any additional pieces of information to draw from. Oh, I do have one thing. I had somebody reach out who's been watching the YouTube videos, and she's having a really hard time right now. And I want to tell her that you're beautiful, you're wonderful, and finding your joy is hard sometimes. Finding your place of peace is hard. But you're not alone. There's a lot of people that struggle with that. So I send you some blessings. You asked for them, so I'm sending them. Blessings and happiness. And I'm sending you a special smile. You can do this. You can do this. Okay. I think that's it for today, guys. And I will see you tomorrow in Daily Devotional. Again, if you watch this later, if you have comments or questions or something bubbles up and you want to share it, just pop it in the chat. I will look at these in the morning before I come on tomorrow morning. And have a blessed day. And I will see you in prayer. Blessed be.